All right, Orlando Brown, a damn good deal for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chiefs could have kept him for a $20 million franchise tag salary. The Bengals get him for a 4-year, $64 million deal. That's $16 million a year, Chris. I'm surprised the Chiefs wouldn't have done that. And maybe it's a situation where the Chiefs would have done it, but Orlando Brown's not happy that they didn't pick up his franchise tag, so he took the offer somewhere else. I haven't heard that the Chiefs were in it for 16, but 16 is not unreasonable. I think 16, that's exactly the kind of deal you need if you're going to put great players around Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean, I would have a hard time, again, where my mind goes through history and, being involved in this game a long time is I got to think he was asking for something more than that, and the Chiefs got exhausted with it and then said, okay, we're going to move on to Jawan Taylor. And then he started to realize, wait, the market's not quite what I thought out there, and he had to lower his price tag a little bit. At least that's the way it looks, and I feel like a lot of the times the way things like this go down, that's usually what happens, But I mean, yeah, steal for a much-needed position still for the Cincinnati Bengals. And again, Orlando Brown, one thing I know, he wants to play left tackle 100%. So that was maybe another issue here too. I saw the report with Adam Schefter a few days ago saying, a lot of people in the league viewed him as a right tackle. Well, I know that he was intent on being a left tackle. He's going to go to Cincinnati and play left tackle. That's for sure. He's better than anybody they got on the roster at that position. Now, what do they do with Jonah Williams, right? He was their starting left tackle. He's a first-round pick. Most people, when he got drafted, never thought he was a tackle anyways. Guard ability, maybe he goes to right tackle. But either way, much-needed protection for Joe Burrow and a great improvement to their O-line with Orlando Brown.
Yeah, and the thought is Jonah Williams goes over to the right side, and La'el Collins ends up potentially being odd man out in the starting lineup, not on the roster altogether. And when you see that investment that was made in Orlando Brown Jr., one of the thoughts I had, Joe Mixon, at some point they spend enough money where they can't justify. And this is why it's important to have those triggers, those early triggers in the out years of a contract that force the team to poop or get off the pot, early roster bonus, early guarantee, because the Bengals can play this out a little bit. And once the market dries up, when they go to Joe Mixon and say, we can only pay you $5 million this year, where are you going to get $6 million at that point? That's the problem. So with each one of these deals the Bengals do this offseason, I'm going to get a little more and more nervous about Joe Mixon's status at the $10 million plus he's due to make, whether or not they're going to take him or put him in a position where he needs to take less, or they're going to take him off the roster altogether.
I feel like it's trending towards the take less thing, right? One, I guess where I think a little bit, and I think you brought up all the correct points, is just that, with Samaje Perine gone and, not being able to re-sign him, he goes to Denver with Sean Payton. That's a great signing for them. There's not really anybody on their roster that you look at to go, really? Are you going to go into the year, with that player right there? And they got Chris Evans, who's a young player from Michigan, but certainly not a starting caliber tailback for my money. So yeah, it does seem like it's kind of trending that way. Whether maybe they just go, hey, wait, we'll let it play out one more year for $10 million, or they put the squeeze on them to take 6 or something like that, or 5, like you're talking about. I feel like it is trending that way. But like to get rid of them at this point, wow, they're going to just rely on this group and then go to the draft, or there's some other free agents they got their eyes on out there. I don't know, but it's certainly a little dicey for Joe Mixon right now.
Well, the other thing they can do, Chris, is they can wait until after the draft to make their decision. Depends on who they get or don't get in the draft.
That's right.
Before they make their final spot and thought known on Joe Mixon. Or they could say to Joe Mixon, here's the offer that we have pre-draft. Post-draft, it may be different. It may be dramatically different post-draft. So all I'm saying is he's got a contract that gives them the ability to take their time, and you pay Orlando Brown big money, and you make that big move, and the Joe Burrow contract is going to get done at some point. They'll eventually need cap dollars, and Joe Mixon is a path of least resistance for them, or at least a path of lesser resistance for them to get the cap dollars they'll need. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.